You are not wealthy because you make 100, 200, 300 grand per year. If wealth is not high salaries, what is actual wealth and how did you create it? I'm talking selling the European shores for the summer wealth, having a garage full of exotic cars wealth. In this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 life-altering ways to create wealth and how you can implement this in your life today. Hi, I'm Giannino. I teach you how to make money, grow money, and invest money. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Society has led you to believe that having a happy life involves this streamlined process of college, job, house, marriage, family, retirement, funeral. Dang, that sounds exhausting. It's probably because it actually is. But this is actually a trap that the American culture has made so that you personally can fuel it at every step of the process. Let me explain. Processes 1 through 3, college, job, and home, all fuel the American economy and the American machine. When you go to college, you apply for student loans. Those fuel the banks and the colleges. After college, they push you into a job where you work for somebody's dream, one person's dream. You spend most of your life working primarily because you have student loans, so the colleges are binding you to stay into these jobs. And the funny thing is, you're gonna love this, that the people at the top of those companies donate all their money to colleges, and colleges send students to their jobs to work for them. How circular is that? That is a huge slavery system if I ever saw one in my life. And then when you get a job, if you get enough money, you buy a house. And now you're paying the banks more money because you're getting a loan for a house. And a house you have to pay banks for 30 or 40 years. This whole system is corrupt. This is not how you create wealth. That is why in this video, I'm gonna break down the 3 best ways to create wealth and change your life and get you out of this system. In order to understand how to create wealth, we have to understand the mindset of the successful and the wealthy people that are actually doing that. So step number 1 is that these people are looking for ways to create money that involves as little amount as time as possible. Wealthy people use their money to make more money, but when they get started, maybe they don't have money. In that case, they use their time to make systems that can make them money. These systems should eventually eliminate the amount of time they need to make that amount of money. Let me give you a quick example of how to hustle. This is probably not what wealthy people do. This is a very easy way to create money, create systems so you can make money while you're sleeping. So if you don't know, Amazon affiliate program allows you to sell products on Amazon and they pay you a portion for it. Let's say you spent the better week of 3 months, 6 months posting relevant products on relevant blogs, so when people click that link on the blog, you make money, and all those links and all the blogs live on the internet forever. So essentially you're going to be making money till the end of time because you put in time to put those links on the internet. Now those systems to make you money are those Amazon affiliate links. That's just a quick example of how you can make money with your time in the beginning. But once you have money, the key is to make that money work for you and have that money grow. So these 3 ways to create actual wealth are going to help you understand what to do with your money when you actually have it. One way to create a good amount of wealth is in real estate. A vast majority of successful people have started in real estate, and there's 3 ways you can use real estate to make you money. The first way is called a fix and flip property. You probably see TV shows about this all the time, but it basically requires you to buy a property that is broken down, unloved, and super cheap, and spend maybe a month, maybe 2 weeks renovating it, making it look nice, making it look buyable for new people. And after that 2 weeks or that month, you sell the property for a profit. And that profit could be equivalent to a full-time salary for some people, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. You can easily do this fixing and flipping properties. And the whole reason this works out is because when something is broken down and beaten up, people are not willing to pay for it at the price it's worth because they're not willing to do the work to fix it. So when properties are beaten up, you're going to be able to buy them under value and create a huge deal on that. And after renovating that property, it's going to be above the value of the actual house because everything inside it is nicer now. So that difference is going to be what you make when you go to sell the house. It's the same thing with the stock market. During recessions, people sell things for underneath their value because they're fearful and they may not have the money to invest. But when the market's doing well, things are selling over their value, and that's how you make a lot of money, is when you buy undervalued assets and you sell them for a premium price. And the next way to make money in real estate is with a cash flow property. And this is where you buy a property and you rent it out. There's a lot of headaches associated with this, including paying the bills each month, getting renters, getting them to pay you, as well as hiring people to fix the house, hiring people to manage the house. So although it can make you money for the rest of your life, it can be a huge time suck. And the basis of a cash flow property is you have a set amount of expenses on that property each month, and your goal is to bring in enough money from renting to create some type of cash flow from that property. Let me give you an example. So if you have $1,000 in bills and electricity and water, everything related to the property is $1,000 in total. If you can rent that property for $1,500 a month, you're gonna make $500. So every month you're going to be cash flowing $500 into your bank account. And the last way to make money in real estate is called house hacking. And this is not something that is common that wealthy people do because it's unconventional. But basically how house hacking works is that you live in the house that you rent out. So instead of living in a house and paying bills every month, you rent it out so you can possibly pay those bills and not worry about them. This is another way to create cash flow from an asset you already own. So that's real estate in a nutshell and how to create wealth with it, how to make some money from it. But it should be noted, everything I listed with real estate requires time, which wealthy people do not have. That is why it's not a popular thing for wealthy people to get into. And that is why personally, I'm not a fan of real estate investing. The reason I do house hack is because it requires the least amount of time out of all the 3 examples I just gave you. Now the moment you have been waiting for, we're going to talk about the second best way to create wealth. And this is my favorite and probably one you can guess. This is investing. Wow, who knew I was going to say that? But I can guarantee you that 99.9% of millionaires own some type of stock, bond, ETF, dividend fund. And the funny thing is I can't say that about real estate. Obviously, a lot of millionaires own real estate, but they don't treat it like an asset. It's not something that pays them every month. But on the flip side, most millionaires will own stock and will try to make money from that. And there's a couple ways you can make money in the stock market. The first way is called passive index investing. I talk about this all the time on my channel, but it's basically a low risk, high diversified way to invest in the market and obtain the long-term results. The market on average produces 6 to 8% per year and requires little to no time when you're investing in the index. What this means is basically free money while you're sleeping. And let me tell you, the wealthy understand that. Another way to make money in the stock market is with dividends. At some point when you're wealthy or you're growing your wealth, you want to look towards dividend stocks to pay you every year. And you also have the added bonus of having appreciation in that dividend stock. If you don't know what a dividend stock is, it's basically a certain type of stock that pays you for owning it. This could be a percentage between 1 and 7%. So every year you're going to get paid, let's say 5% just for owning that stock. So if the market goes down 5% for that stock and you get paid 5%, you're going to be at a break-even level, 0% difference. But let's say the stock goes up 5%, you gain 5% from the dividend, that's 10% return for the year. If the stock doesn't move anywhere, you still get paid 5%. So dividend stocks are awesome because they're always paying you that dividend yield. This is why Warren Buffett loves dividend investing, and he does it in a unique way where when he gets paid that dividend, he reinvests it back into the stock, basically owning more and more of the company over time. It's definitely a type of snowball effect. So dividend stocks come down to 2 scenarios. You can use it to get paid, or you can use it to reinvest into the stock. And wealthy people understand this, and wealthy people really flock to dividend stocks, because once you're wealthy and once you own a lot of money, you want to use that money to pay you automatically every year and do that for future generations. And the last way to make money in the stock market is with bonds, and it's the most low risk way to put your money in the market and have it make you money. The great thing about bonds is it's government backed, and the interest rate you get paid every year is decided by the overall market and by the Federal Reserve. Right now, bonds are probably the worst investment you can make because the interest rate is so low, around 1 to 2%, while most dividend stocks can pay you 3 to 5%, doubling or tripling the return you can get from a bond. But some fixed rate bonds can pay you totally risk free because it's backed by the government for an X amount of years, let's say 3, 5, or 10 years. So if you want a guaranteed return of 2 to 3%, you could look towards those fixed rate bonds because they're associated with that totally risk-free environment. Before I get into the last way to create true wealth, I just want to point out there's 2 ways to use the market. You can use the stock market to grow your money, grow your principal over time, or you can use the stock market to pay you consistently every 3 months or 6 months. I use this example all the time, but if you put $200 into the stock market for 46 years, you will have $1 million by the time you retire. So talk about the power of passive index investing and compound interest. And the last way to create wealth is by building your own business. And I'm gonna point out right away that unlike stock market investing or real estate investing, this has the highest failure rate, and it's the hardest thing to do successfully. Not to mention that building your own business takes the maximum amount of time you can imagine. It could be 80 hours a week consistently for decades. So if you're looking at something to make passive income, have less time associated with that, building a business is not the route you want to go. The one perk of building your own business is if you hit it big, you can create huge amounts of wealth and pass that down to your future generations. If you look at the guy who created Walmart, the money he left to his future generations, 3 people are on the Forbes top 20 for the wealthiest people in the world with net worths above $40 billion. All because this guy took the risk and made a business. And if you want to create a business, I want to point out some key tips to help you be successful, and most importantly, how to have your time back as you're building the business. So number 1, you want to think of a product or service that takes a little amount of time and a little amount of money. Think about pop sockets. Those things must be worth 5 cents, maybe even 1 penny, but pop sockets are sold everywhere for dollars. And the guy who made them doesn't have to go out and sell them because he's put them in stores and duplicated that system so that product can sell itself everywhere around the world. What this looks like is when you start out as a startup, you pretty much do everything as the CEO. And let's say you get into advertising and you want to start advertising. Eventually down the line, you have to pass that responsibility to someone else and delegate, because if you don't delegate, your business is going to go down in flames because you're doing everything and you're not doing it as well as some people could. So that's a true key to having success in a business, is delegate your time and delegate your efforts. And then number 3, to be successful in a business is you want to find people that are smarter than you and seek mentorship from them. You also want to hire people that are smarter than you and seek mentorship from them, because if you can hire the smartest people you can find, your business is really going to thrive. Those are the 3 amazing ways to create wealth, and it should be noted that certain points of time in your life, it may be better to do one over the other. Let's say you have a ton of money and no time. In that case, investing in the stock market or the real estate market might be good for you, but maybe you're entrepreneurial, maybe you're young, maybe you're looking to take a risk. In that sense, maybe building a business might be right for you. There's multiple ways to create real wealth, and as you can see in this video, there's 3 great ways that you can implement tomorrow. But obviously you should be looking to create long-term wealth and not sacrifice your time. And the last thing I want to do is give you an amazing video about how to buy a stock exactly in the stock market and what to look for. Check it out to the right of me. I think you're going to love it. We all know the power of the stock market, how investing for long periods of time consistently can make you millions and millions of dollars when you retire. But the problem